ICT Awards and the 31st Dataquest ICT Business Awards this evening. This is an evening to celebrate the incredible achievements of the individuals and teams who are shaping the future of ICT industry and the roadmap for India 2047. We've spent the past few hours at this conference being inspired by insightful presentations, engaging discussions, and the opportunity to connect with colleagues from across the industry. Now it's time to recognize the outstanding contributions that have made truly a difference. The awards we will be presenting tonight represent the pinnacle of achievement in ICT industry. They celebrate dedication, innovation, and a commitment to excellence. It's been a tradition at CyberMedia to recognize and felicitate the movers and shakers of the ICT industry. This year, jury members met on the 2nd of February 2024 to discuss and deliberate on the next winners of the Dataquest ICT Business Awards. I would like to extend a thank you to our jury members. I would like to say thank you to Harish Mehta, first elected chairman of NASSCOM and author of The Maverick Effect as the jury chair, Mr. Arvind Kumar, Director General STPI, Mr. Divakar Nigam, Managing Director, Newgen Software, Mr. Hemant Tiwari, Head of Commercial Sales, APAC Hitachi Vantara, Mr. Kamal Nath, CEO, Sefi Technologies, Professor Ranjan Bose, Director, IIIT, Delhi, Shailendra Kumar, Managing Director, Oracle India, Mr. Som Satsangi, Senior Vice President and MD, HPE India, Mr. Vinod Bhatt, CIO and CEC Vistara Tata, SI Airlines Limited, and of course, our very own Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, CyberMedia Group, as the jury co-chair. ICT Business Awards play a significant role in propelling the industry forward by recognizing achievements, inspiring innovation, and fostering a thriving tech ecosystem. To start the sessions of the evening, we would first like to play a video message from our chairman of CyberMedia Group, Pradeep Gupta. May I have the video message, please?
Thank you very much, Madam President, for recognizing the role of Dataquest in the last 40 years. Good day to all of you. We celebrate the end of 40 years of our celebration. We are now in our 42nd year, and in these 4 decades, the journey of Dataquest has absolutely been parallel to the journey of the ICT industry that has happened in this country. When we started, there were less than 2,000 computers in the entire country. The PC had still not made its appearance in India. And that is the time when we started chronically, we started influencing, we started defining what should happen as far as the ICT industry in this country should be. And that indeed played a role on several future generations of IT professionals who, through our publications, read about the ICT, got sensitized about it, came into this entire industry and have developed Digital India as what we see today. These 40 years are synonymous with certain landmark events that have happened. One, I would say, is the Dataquest Top 20. I remember Dataquest Top 20 used to be an issue that everybody used to look for, because that put together what the numbers for the entire industry were, who were the leaders. Companies used to jostle for that leadership position because it would have impact on their future growth. And the DQ Top 20 for several years was absolutely the chronicling of and recording of the data. It was the scorekeeper for the entire ICT industry. Not just that, we took up issues. We talked about policies. We took up issues such as, in the earlier days, whether it was antivirus, where we talked about copyright, where we talked about, the entire issue about the software export industry coming up in India. We had talked about, networking and internet becoming the centerpiece. We wrote about, the broadband issues right in the early days, the mobile revolution and what needed to be done there. in terms of digital India, what requires to be done. So we have looked at these different kind of developments that have taken place in the ICT industry, and I'm very happy and very proud to say that these influencing roles that DataQuest played in a highly responsible manner shaped the industry. Even now, we want to continue doing the same thing, and our focus now is on 2047. We want to see what is going to be happening in the next 20 to 25 years as we move into the 100 years of ICT, and what are going to be some of the changes that are going to be there. A lot of them will be driven by deep tech, by artificial intelligence, by machine language, by robotics, by AR, VR, by blockchain, by 6G or 7G, whatever communication protocols come, in terms of human machine interaction, in terms of natural language processing. So there is going to be a deep change that is going to be taking place in the next 2 decades, and DataQuest will be there with you to talk about what are some of these changes, to educate you, and to influence what should be the direction that should be taken as far as the future evolution of the industry is concerned, as we have done in a very, very responsible manner in the past. DataQuest was always, the entire user industry, for them it was a gold mine because it gave them the trends, not just about technology, but about business. What is the direction in which business is moving, how implementation needs to be done. So whether it was the financial institutions, whether it was manufacturing industry, whether it was the service industry, all of them would rely on DataQuest to provide them with the information about the industry. I'm also very proud of I'm also very proud of the DataQuest annual awards. These awards recognize the movers and shakers of the ICT industry. The DataQuest Person of the Year always focused on the developments that had happened in the last 12 to 18 months of that particular year. The Lifetime Achievement Award looked at long-term contributions that was made as far as the ICT industry is concerned. The Path Baker Award was given to those people who did things in a different way. You brought in some kind of an innovation, a new kind of business. And therefore, these three awards were actually can trace out the entire evolution of the ICT industry. These three awards can actually trace out the evolution of the ICT industry in terms of the changes that were taking place in the entire business. So whether it was software exporters, hardware manufacturers, whether it was network providers, whether it was startups, all variety of people at different places, at different phases, having recognized through the DataQuest annual report. DataQuest also provided a great connection between the government and the industry. For instance, in 2014, the chief guest at our annual awards was the now Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi. He interacted with all the stalwarts of the industry, went into a listening mode, and heard what were the voices of the ICT industry. And this was given by 30 plus industry chiefs, and that formed the basis for a lot of thoughts behind Digital India, which he launched in 2014. Another great role that DataQuest played that I'm very proud of is motivating the youth of this country to adapt to information technology. The way we wrote about the entire industry, enthused the people, ensured that they came into the fold of the ICT industry, the way through the ICT jobs, there was a time when there were more than 30 pages of job opportunities that we used to carry in the publications, and that ensured that more and more youth moved towards information technology. We also promoted women in information technology. In early days, we started talking about a workforce, the glass ceiling, and how women could play a very, very important role as far as information technology industry is concerned. Another great thing that we did was to talk about the assistive technology and work in terms of ensuring that information technology benefits actually help the disabled community in this country. There were two roundtables that we had with two of the chief ministers of states in which we called the ICT leaders and talked about assistive technology. Those are the kind of influencing roles in terms of ensuring that ICT got a very, very firm way, all encompassing pace. And that was the role that Dataquest continued.
Wow, 40 years, a journey that has been very interesting and intriguing. May I now request Mr. Pradeep Gupta, Chairman, CyberMedia Group, to come on and stage and share his thoughts and of a few leaders on the memories of Dataquest 40 years, transformational journey in the technology media.
I guess I will stand down here. So first of all, welcome to all of you. It's really a pleasure, and I see so many friends, so many people with whom one has shared these 4 decades of DataQuest history. Somebody asked me during the day that you are saying 40 years, and then this is the 42nd year, so there's some confusion about the number of years. So just to clarify, we started in December 82. Okay. And so 2023, the whole year we celebrated as the 40th year of DataQuest, because in 82 we had just one issue, and now we are of course in 2024, so therefore it becomes actually 42 years. Uh, it brings very fond memories when I see so many old friends around here today. I remember when the ICT policy came out, and a number of you people will remember that particular issue, where we had literally a cover-to-cover story of Mr. Sheshagiri, and I think there were some 28 photographs of Dr. Sheshagiri in that particular issue, where we talked about, what was the first computer policy, which I think came out in '84. Right, so 1984, when the policy came out, we talked about that and so on. But I'm here to hear friends talk about Dataquest. So may I request some of the people from the industry, and perhaps ladies first. So Neelam, let's start with you.
Thanks, Pradeep. Dataquest Awards and DQ20 was always very much looked forward. And I was at HCL, and we would always want to see HCL right on the top of the list. There used to be healthy competition, and it was always very secretly guarded information as to who are the leaders of that year in revenue terms. And we, all of us who were in business, and Ajay is here at that time, we would watch the DQ Awards, and we would go into the event thinking if it's going to be our competition, that's not good for us. The amount of healthy competition that came up in those years because of this, who can be the leader for the year. And after the results would be announced and we would have this DQ award ceremony, after that, for a year, we would have these pages printed out of DQ as a pullout, which each of us would carry in our sales kit to give it to clients and say, this is where we are. So it was quite a look forward event in the 80s and the 90s, definitely for me.
And I do remember in one issue, we also said that, the women who will top IT companies, right? And you were one of the featured person there in that particular issue. And I think it was in the mid 80s or late 80s and so on. Ajay, would you want to add something?
Well, for me, Dataquest has been the guiding light for the industry, because literally you had a place where you could watch the industry very carefully, and you have been able to chronicle it from the day you were founded. And interestingly, from HCL, we were there literally from even before you founded it, because you were part of HCL then. So so in a manner, it's been there for a long, long time. But I think what I do remember is that you came out with some very interesting special issues as you went along. And there were brilliant articles that were actually provided by different parts of the industry. But one thing I always remember is that you were very partial to hardware.
No, absolutely true. And, it was sad that somewhere along the line we left the hardware story completely. Instead of just moving into software, which was a great thing to do. And by the way, we very much played a role there also as part of the committee. That the World Bank study, which was there, the first World Bank study. Saurabh, you want to say something?
Sure. So I would say that the real word in Dataquest is quest, because PG, when he started Dataquest, was in the quest of an IT industry. It didn't really exist. So he kind of partnered it every step of the way. A step ahead, a step on the side, different publications that came out. Most of us have written something or the other for DQ at some time or the other. And he created the Oscars for the industry. So in effect, to get any of these awards, the top 20, the Pathbreaker Award, Lifetime Achievement Award, all of these were the Oscars. And that was a unique, yeah, let me just shut it off. Thanks, yeah. And for that, we must give him credit, because at a time when this industry wasn't well known, you created a real motivating factor for a lot of us here who were not going to get those awards from CII or FICCI. For them, we didn't exist, right? So this was our play that you created. And I think for that alone, I would say thank you very much. And you went beyond that. You had a role, as you said, for software. The first study that we did, and this was in 89, 90, 91? 91. PG was deeply involved in it. I was involved. We got it funded by the World Bank. Guess what the study said? The study said in 91 that if we do a lot of things right, someday software will be a $1 billion industry. And just so you guys know, we crossed 250 billion.
Yeah, but indeed, yes, that World Bank study was a milestone study which sort of ignited that entire thing. Harish bhai, I'll come to you last of all, because after that I'll give the mic to you. Ashank, would you like to?
So enough has been said about you, but still, to me, this data quest was quest for data actually at my time. So that was really a name that you kind of played so well. Because what I remember was in 1987, correct me if I'm wrong, you started the ranking of, I think, 86 or 87, whatever. So I get one big questionnaire, We were sitting in one 360 square feet office of ours in Mumbai, and I was filling the form, So my partner said, "अरे क्यों टाइम बर्बाद कर रहे हो यार, ये डेटा बीटा छोड़ दो, कुछ जाके सेल करो सॉफ्टवेयर." So I said, "नहीं, I want to know where I am standing." And actually that was the day made my life, in the sense when I filled the form and you are ranking, we were some 5th or 6th or whatever rank. So I said, "जी देखो, हमारा नाम सब अभी इंडिया में पब्लिश हो गया है." So like what you said, we were using this Dataquest issue to show people how good we are. So that is a great contribution you made. Seriously, that was an inspiration in a way for all of us. I'm sure many others, as they said. So that's one thing I always remember in the history of Mastech. Beyond that, of course, the data that you were doing research, even in NASCOM, we used to say, why our data is different than Dataquest, there is any differences. So all these ranking issue, we used to also do in NASCOM. And I was after data generally, so I used to always check what you have said and what I have said. And I had a lot of discussions with you, if you remember, on why your data is this is our data, and so on and so forth. But anyway, you set a standard. The point I'm making is the legitimacy that was required through data is what you made, and made आपने data quest का नाम, what they say, सार्थक कर दिया, or whatever in Hindi they say. In the sense, you really made that data really great. Beyond that, of course, you have been inspiration to all the dreams that happened in IT industry. Times have changed, things have changed, but you remained as one pillar. So I think your name has to be written in the history of IT industry. Dataquest and contribution that you have made is really, really important. And you will be always remembered. I always say I have lived a dream of IT industry. One of the character in that dream was you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashank. Uh, Kiran is a person who has had 2 Persons of the Year awards and 1 Lifetime Achievement Award. I think the most rewarded person is probably Kiran. Uh, so it was, of course, the Person of the Year award, and then you got it again for Satyam, because one of the awards which was given was to the Satyam board, and he was heading the board at that particular time, and then, of course, the Lifetime Achievement Award. And you also have been in at least 4 or 5 juries as well, which have decided on the awards. So Kiran, show us the future direction also, what we should be working on.
Thank you, PG. And first, congratulations to you and the Dataquest team on 42 years. So happy birthday. But fantastic occasion. And, as everyone has said, you've not only chronicled history, and I can see from the title of what you had today, you're about to make history, future. So I think it's fantastic. And thank you for all the awards. I hope this is not punishment for the awards. But the awards are great, they're always correct. They recognize the right people, the good people, right? Thank you. I think Dataquest and PG personally have played a vital role in, as I said, not just chronicling, but taking forward the research and data on the industry in a big way, which at a time when there was very little data and almost no research. I think that was really a seminal contribution. And now you continue to record things as they happen, looking to the future. The future is changing very fast, as all futures do. Like all futures, is unpredictable. But if we begin to initiate some discussions and try to shape it, and that is what I think some of the things you do, and the awards you're giving today, including the Pathbreaker Award, recognizes the kind of new directions that might come. So I think it's fabulous that you're doing this. And congratulations, keep up the great work. You've got a great team. You built a fantastic organization, which is already been 42 years and going strong. I think there's a lot for you to do yet in Dataquest, and continue to chronicle and guide the industry and push it forward. So all the best.
On which we had a discussion, and perhaps I think it is time when India also had some sort of a think tank or some other appropriate name where we can actually start looking at the future. What are the things that need to be done? And I would, of course, many people sitting in this room, I'll reach out to them and ask them to be a part of that entire deliberation. So Kiran and I, we are sort of working on trying to put together something on something that can look at the future. Who wants to say something? Raji, you want?
Problem with coming last is everything good has been said. But no, let me just add one thing. I think it's very rare that you have a person who's judging and ranking people every year, but everyone still loves him. This is really, so when we say, he's had brilliant people writing for him. All of us have known those people. They were exceptionally good. But this is one quality which I did want to point out, that many people here, may have been number 2 or number 3 and must have been angry with him, but none were angry. I think that talks to the fairness that you talked about, that talks to the um, correctness of things. And I have enjoyed a very deep relationship. Ajay and I were both, when he joined HCL, we were there. And I'd worked very closely with him. He was one of the most intellectual salesmen, and it showed up because he went out and started doing something more serious than all the sales guys. But that's the one quality I wanted to really appreciate today, because I haven't heard anyone in all those years of intense competition when we used to wait for the issue criticize Dataquest or criticize you. So congratulations to that.
Thanks a lot. I wanted to keep you for...
No. Guys, I represent the BPO industry. We sneaked into being ICT. I have a theory how we managed to sneak in. When IT was going down, they needed numbers to show the graph going up. So they added BPO. But now we are an integral part of ICT. Well, one thing, you heard all the view from the top, how people used to look for the top 20 and use it, etc. I just wanted to give you a slightly different perspective. This vast workforce from the BPO industry, people were not IT trained or anything. All publications of CyberMedia were used by these people to understand IT. And I dare say the middle management of IT industry and the upper middle management of IT industry learned a lot of what they know today from the publications. So I think CyberMedia takes a bow for what you created in the country, the workforce that you created. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So,
I think a lot of already been said kind of thing, but PG, because I can correlate, while Neelam also shares some of those things, last more than 3 decades plus, we have all grown along with the Dataquest and CyberMedia. And one thing which I completely echo what Raman is saying, we all used to look the monthly edition of Dataquest. Always we used to read, because there was no internet. There was no way to find out what is happening in the industry, where industry is heading kind of thing. And your DQ top 20 was like, it was used to be rocking one. The way it used to come, everybody used to jump on CNs and say, where are you on this thing? And everyone used to then take the copy of that, as Neelam mentioned, and then go to all our customer partners and say, hey guys, here we are. So I think you have created, according to me, Dataquest and CyberMedia has created the IT industry. So thank you for all the support and what you have done for the industry.
thanks a lot. Arun, you want to say something? Arun is also my college old friend, and now, of course, on the board.
College secret? No. He'll reveal more of mine. That's very dangerous. No. PG's been a great friend, and we've been together. And you guys have said everything there is to be said. And what I liked, Rajiv, what you said is about the quality of the man. That's absolutely, we are great friends. And this, good luck. And I'm pretty sure that you're going to be finding more of what we should be doing in the future. And since, I think, who mentioned about this 1 billion? Ajay, you... Saurabh. Well, I think it's 1 billion a day now.
Absolutely heading towards that.
Thank you, PG. No, I bring in the perspective of the government. So 82, when I joined the railways, so that was the first time I saw this Dataquest. And since then, we have been collecting Dataquest. Since I was a computer science person from IIT Delhi, so I had natural interest into Dataquest. And from the government side, we have been looking at various companies, the way Dataquest has presented them. Contract देना है, देखो Dataquest में नाम है कि नहीं है. See, seriously, Dataquest has really created a pull factor for the IT world. In fact, if you today look at large number of engineering colleges, which came up during that period, thanks to Dataquest, thanks to the awareness which was created by Dataquest and PC Quest. Look at the kind of CD you were giving with your PC Quest. That CD then got converted into a DVD. And the kind of open source software which was made available to every person in that era, that is the backbone of the IT industry today. So thank you, PG. Thank you so much. And the way you presented the government policies and the way you criticized the government policies, they really allowed us, they forced us to make better policies for the IT industry. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Anybody else wants to? I mean, there are so many friends I can see. Shelly is there, Harsh is. I mean, there are numerous names that are there. So, if somebody wants to. 1989, the first PC Quest I have purchased myself. So the first was actually 87.
Yes. So I was recruited as a IT. At that time, IT was not the word. It was EDP.
Correct.
Many of you may remember. So it was a EDP manager. I have been recruited, and my boss told me to find out what are new things happening around industry. So then I says that where I can find out. And then one of my friends suggested, Sudhir, tu sare issue utha ke liya uske. And one lady was, Sarita was there afterwards. And when I changed my organization, I joined Jet King. So I invited your team once at my campus that you give your subsidized subscription to my students. And Suresh Bharwani ji, when he recommended, Sudhir, you do, they will brought some old issues which can be given free and give them 50 or 75 at least subscription. So the relation will maintain.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Harsh.
Sir. Thank you, Pradeep. First of all, I have to say that I do not share the deep history. I'm just envious that I wasn't here in those early days when the real foundations were being laid. So in a sense, when I arrived with Accenture, the infrastructure had been laid, the thinking had more or less crystallized, and in a sense, we took advantage of it, which is good for India too, but I cannot claim saying I was there at the birth of the industry. But I am aware of how significant CyberMedia, Dataquest is, and we also looked at it very carefully and studied it because you were and your team was very thoughtful. They dealt with the issues of the day, but there was a certain thoughtfulness and rationality with that, which commanded being taken seriously. So thank you for that. And I would just add, now that you are focusing on becoming a tech superpower, one thought I'd like to throw into the cauldron, and I'm sure you're already thinking, is to recognize the power that IT can play in the transformation of India in a way that affects the citizens of India. There are great things already starting to happen, but there's so much to be done in healthcare, so much to be done in education, not just bringing lessons to people, but ensuring learning outcomes are achieved. So much in agriculture, and the list goes on. So I know you and the thinkers you will assemble, they will do it, and it would delight me greatly. Congratulations for what you've done. You've been part of the creators of this industry, and for that, thank you, both on behalf of the industry and on a personal level. It helped me too.
Thanks a ton.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard so much good things about Dataquest. I am part of education industry. I am part of a college, and we always look forward to the Dataquest doing the survey of colleges, T schools across India. And I represent Maharaja Agar Sen Institute of Technology. About in 2006, our college used to be at 65 rank, and today is at rank third in private colleges. It's all, and what it helps us is that we send out the extract of that to the industry to tell them where we stand, and we give a comparison to them, and that has helped us a lot, that the industry keeps coming to us, our college, to recruit students from our college. Thank you very much. And of course,
Thank
your copies are always in demand in our library for the students to go through it. Thank you. All the very best to you.
Thank you. Yeah, Ajay.
I just wanted to mention that electronics is creeping up on software. Software is 250, electronics is 200. Watch out.
Absolutely. So same magazine or another magazine for hardware? Okay, with that, Harish Bhai,